You are watching an anime. The story has been building for weeks. Characters are changing, stakes are rising, you need to know what happens next. And then the episode opens and someone is going to the beach. Or there is a tournament with no stakes. Or a flashback to a character you have barely met. Or a filler arc that has absolutely no bearing on the main plot and everyone knows it. The story has stopped. What you are watching is called filler. And it exists for a reason that has nothing to do with storytelling. It exists because of scheduling. Anime is almost always adapted from manga, serialized Japanese comic books published weekly or monthly in anthologies and magazines. The manga leads. The anime follows. When a manga is popular, a studio purchases the rights and adapts it into an animated series. The anime typically airs weekly, matching the production cycle. Here is the problem. Drawing animation takes far longer than drawing manga pages. A weekly episode of anime represents roughly the same story coverage as a week of manga chapters. On paper, they keep pace. In practice, they do not. Manga artists can adjust the length of a chapter week to week. They can release fewer pages when stuck and more when inspired. Animation cannot adjust. A broadcast slot is a contract. The episode must exist on the night it is scheduled to air, regardless of whether the source material has supplied enough story. When the anime catches up to the manga, the studio has three options: take a break, wait, or fill the time. For much of anime history, studios chose to fill the time. Not because filler makes better television, it almost never does, but because breaking broadcast means losing a time slot. Losing a time slot means viewers may not return. Sponsors and advertisers may not return. The show loses momentum it might never recover. The cost of stopping was considered greater than the cost of mediocre episodes. The extreme example is Naruto. Naruto ran for 220 episodes. Roughly 90 of them are estimated to be filler, stories that do not appear in the manga at all, invented by the studio to buy time from Masashi Kishimoto to continue drawing. That is over 40% of the show. Detailed guides exist to tell viewers exactly which episodes to skip. The filler arcs became so notorious that they changed how many fans watch anime, creating the practice of episode skipping as a standard part of the viewer experience. Not every studio made the same calculation. Demon Slayer adapted only manga-accurate content and released in seasonal batches. 12 or so episodes, then a pause of several months, then the next arc. No invented stories, no padding. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure did the same. The result, when episodes air, they are dense with story. Every episode advances something. The wait between seasons is longer, sometimes over a year, but viewers return because the quality justifies it. This is the fundamental debate filler represents. Filler is a bet that viewers will stay if there is always something to watch, even if what they are watching is not particularly good. The seasonal model is a bet that viewers will return if the quality is consistent, even if there are long gaps. For audiences who grew up watching Naruto weekly, filler was simply part of the rhythm, something to endure before the story came back. For viewers watching on demand who can skip seasons they have already seen and start from the next arc, the tolerance for filler is much lower. There is also a financial dimension. Filler episodes are written and produced by the studio rather than adapted from licensed source material. This means the studio owns the content. But filler that is not manga accurate cannot easily be sold as premium home media. The core audience, who drive physical sales, penalizes releases that include non-canon content. Filler generates production costs without the upside. The era of weekly broadcast anime that created the conditions for filler is not gone, but it is changing. Streaming has altered the economics. A show on a global platform does not have a weekly broadcast slot to protect. It can release in seasonal batches. The pressure to keep something on air regardless of quality is lower. The great filler arcs of anime history were mostly a product of the broadcast era, a period when studios had no choice but to keep making something because stopping felt like dying. The next wave of major adaptations will probably look different. Whether that makes them better television is a separate question. Now you know.